Dr. Brumbaugh, are you available?
Yes, I am.
I just wanted to let you know that Tara and I are both here. This is Jonathan Baldwin.
Yeah,
It's just our internet is so slow, we can only run one device at one time.
sure. Hey, no problem. Thank you for letting me know.
Oh, all right, thank you.
Uh-huh. All right, folks. I have 5 o'clock Eastern time. We'll go ahead and get started. Uh, like the few times we meet, this will likely be pretty brief. Really, my intent is, we only have, what a week or so ish, a little bit more than a week, I guess, of this class left. I could tell, about a week and a half ago, I was starting to get questions. Some of them were relatively the same questions, so I felt like it was definitely necessary that we at least one more time before this course ended, especially with the last couple assignments come up. I felt like it would be necessary for us to meet. So thank you for those that could join us. Or maybe some of you are listening to this recording right now. I'll be putting this recording up uh, either later tonight or tomorrow morning under week 7, where you see all the information about the online meeting. That'll all disappear, and I'll put the recording there. It likely is the recording will take you to YouTube. To watch all that. So basically, this is the first time I've taught this class. I have talked with Dr. Goins a couple times, either on the phone or through email. He's the one that has taught this before. He's actually taught it once before, and he's also teaching another section of it right now. So I'm kind of learning from his lead. He's developed this course. He's developed the next course that we're taking together, 614, and so I'm kind of taking, like I said, taking his lead on a few things and sharing some of the things that a couple of messages that he wanted me to pass on. So one, I think the best way to describe this is 612 and 614. I know that Georgetown describes those as two separate classes, but essentially they're one. It's going to be pretty seamless for the most part. This class with the next one, those coming together. Basically, we're front loading some of the work in this class in 612. A couple committee meetings, doing completing the literature review. In the next class, we'll hop right in. We'll leave off right where we ended with this one. So I think the biggest thing in this one is in 612 is to come up with your focus as you've already done for your capstone project. Complete the literature review. Have a couple committee meetings and develop the survey for the class. Once you've done all those, then we'll leave off on 614. Let's see here. I heard a few dinging. I thought maybe that was a chat or something. So if any of you do have questions, please feel free to put that in the chat box, or feel free to turn your mic on and go ahead and verbally talk with me. So some of the questions that I was getting. I'm sorry. First, those of you who do need to get in contact with me, remember, here's my email address. It's on the syllabus. It's at the top of our Moodle page. I know many of you from time to time have reached out to me. The question I'm getting quite a bit is referring to examples, or what exactly the details with Likert scale. So basically, here's an example of it. We do want it to be 5 different ranges, so to speak. From strongly agree to strongly disagree and everything in between. So make sure that, that's not that uncommon these days, but make sure that when you do develop your survey that you stick to that format. Whether you have that survey be a paper pencil, or you use Google Docs, or you use SurveyMonkey or something like that. I know that those that we've mentioned, you shouldn't have any trouble developing those, because you're going to be implementing this survey here in a few weeks. But for the best practice, I guess, for these, make sure that they are statements, not questions. Make sure that question when you're doing Likert scale, I guess, as I should refer to. Make sure those are statements. Make sure that they're clear. For the remaining questions on your survey that are questions, I think the biggest thing I'm seeing is those questions. If you can answer the question with a yes or a no, that's not a good question. So be thinking about that. I know a few of you have said, hey, Dr. Brimall, can you look through my my survey and stuff like that? And for the most part, everyone that sent me those, it wasn't a requirement. A few people just asked me to look at them. It's perfectly fine, but that's kind of the thing I'm seeing so far. So there's that. Data notebook questions. Judy's asking, are there guidelines posted for that? Good question, Judy. I'm trying to, as I said a moment ago, try to follow Dr. Goins' lead on that one. I emailed him the end of last week, and he's not followed up with me. We're supposed to have a phone call sometime this week, and that is one of the questions that I have for him are, what are the expectations for that? So right now, yeah, you're gathering evidence. When I say evidence, you are, trying to keep notes from meetings, dates and minutes, so to speak, from meetings that you have, and any information that you have. But it's not expected that you be able to share that data notebook with anybody at this moment. So I plan to come with to you. 614, the first day of that class is March the 1st. We will meet, briefly online that evening where I'll go over the syllabus, and I plan to share basically all the information for the rest of the semester. I believe that's going to be, for most of you, I believe, could very possibly be your last class as well. So Judy, to answer that question is I honestly don't know what Dr. Goins, leader of our department, expects for that, but that is a question I hope to answer for you on March the 1st. Okay. Next couple things. Once again, you should have met with your committee a minimum of 2 times by now. I tried to be very intentional on telling you those 2 weeks that you should have done those. If you didn't do it exactly the week in Moodle that I described, try and do it. Try to have done it soon. Um, you know, this last week there was a discussion board, and it asked you to kind of give me an update on the second committee meeting. I think there are still one or two of you that have not uploaded kind of a Word document going through all the details of your second meeting. If you're one of those tonight that haven't done that, please upload that soon. But the research questions, capstone project, literature review, all those things. I won't say February 22nd is a firm deadline. I would like them to be, but if you need, a couple of days after that, I could probably work with you. But I really like to the following week. I think that would be like the week of February the 26th. I think I'd really like to that Monday. Try to finalize everything, get your all's grades posted, get all those details out, and have time to give you some adequate feedback um, on that. So try to have everything done on the 22nd. I know a few of you have asked, hey, well, what do you mean by this is the catch-up week? When are these things due? Again, this was Dr. Goins' class, but basically, the capstone proposal and literature review, the root cause analysis, which you've already done, and the research questions, everything, if you were, and there are a couple of you, not many, that were maybe running just a tad behind on something. For the most part, I try to get everybody to turn things in on time, and you all do a fantastic job of that. With a few exceptions, family situations and work situations and illnesses arise. This is a program that is meant to work with practicing teachers and practitioners right now. So I try to give you a little bit of latitude, but the end is near. The end is the end of this week. Drop dead would probably be Monday, 1 week from today on the 26th. So, kind of the last couple of things though, if you have not already, when you submit that, pull up that capstone project proposal. If I'm you, I take that, excuse me, that exact capstone project proposal, I use that exact Word document, and I type things in directly on there. Don't make it more difficult. That the headings are already on there. That's what I'm going to be checking. And that's what I'm going to be checking anyway. Is did you meet all of the sections that were required on there? Did you adequately fulfill all of the necessary requirements for that? So if you haven't done so, please take the time under week 7, the capstone project proposal. Make sure you are adequately fulfilling all the minimum requirements here, and then also, I put a couple examples in here. If I remember correctly, example 1's a little bit better, a little bit better example than example 2, but and then also under week 7. I've tried to give you about pretty much anytime anybody was asking me a question related to something, I tried to make a kind of a comprehensive thing here. Lots of different resources and videos, whether it relating to literature reviews. I know many of you from quite a few, I'd say about half of you in the class at some point have emailed me with an APA question. So I've tried to give you many resources for all those type of things. So, once again, under week 7, I put a abundance of different resources there. Use them as you need. And let's go back here. It looks like we had a couple questions. So Amanda says, is there any way that we can have until this Sunday to complete? Yeah, I mean, if you're ready to submit by Thursday, please do so. But I want to say the drop dead would be exactly what Amanda's kind of answering the question. To answer your question, yes, Sunday by midnight. It needs to be, that's the firm one. If when I check things either Sunday evening or possibly Monday, and you've not posted it, I'm going to get worried. You're going to force me to have to take a hard line if I don't get it soon after that of you not passing the course. So Amanda, to answer your question, yes, Sunday we'll call it by midnight. Definitely needs to be that firm, hard deadline. I think you guys know me by now. I want to work with you guys, but I do need the time to go through the 15 or 16 of you in this course to give everything an adequate look. And I understand you guys are all working. You probably want and need this weekend. So yes, Amanda, and everyone else. If it's done by Thursday, please post it. But Sunday's the firm deadline. You're very welcome. Gwen says, "I really yeah, okay, yeah, no problem. I thought it was going to be a question. So okay, so remember that this program, the large majority of it is, I'll call it asynchronous, meaning here's the content, whether that be a paper, something you need to have read, a discussion board, a paper you had to write that is done. And we try to meet a couple times throughout the semester. Definitely at the beginning to make sure that to try and paint the picture as clear as possible for everyone. The expectations for the course, to give you the opportunity to ask questions on the front end. And then I also try to do something toward the end like we're doing now. We'll do that the same way in 614. I'll have more answers of more answers to those questions that you might have for 614 when we meet on Thursday, March the 1st. So really, folks, that's about it for most of you. I believe probably 90% of you, you've turned everything in that was due weeks 1 through 6, and now preferably Thursday, but drop dead day of Sunday would be your capstone proposal lit review, and your even though it's listed under week 6, it's not technically due until this Sunday, drop dead deadline for your survey. Those two things. Like I said, 90% of you have turned everything in except for those two things. There are a couple exceptions of those of you that still may be missing 1 or 2 assignments, not many of you. So really this opportunity was to, again, make sure that everyone was clear on when things were due, give you an opportunity to ask questions. So I'm going to be quiet for a moment and give you all the ability to, what are those last questions that you have to tie up any loose ends for this course between now and Sunday? What questions or things can I elaborate on? Or are you feel like you're crystal clear on what needs to be done, and you just need to, on your own time between now and Sunday by midnight, sit down and crack it out? So what questions can I answer for everybody? Are there any things that I can address? Observation hours for this class. Great question, Amanda. No. Dr. Goins said that there are no required observation hours for this course at this time. So no. Good question. I know a couple of you asked that the past couple of weeks. Judy's on those survey example questions, can these be listed as we discussed them, just topics? They don't have to be in complete question format, do they? I'm trying to make sure I understand your question on the survey example.
I probably should have talked to this question.
Go ahead and ask, yeah.
So like I jotted down things we talked about in our group. I don't have to put them in with the scale and all of that. Can I just list them out like in a list, like notes in my, how do you want it on the update? because I
Good.
missed that assignment. I've missed a couple of these where you've had two or three things together,
Mhm.
and I missed that one. I'm glad you mentioned it.
Sure. So the mandatory fun, so to speak, I guess, like a better way to say it, is for your survey questions to actually I already have it on the screen here. A minimum of 10 of them. You can do more. I know a couple of the examples from past students did
I'm
more
sorry.
than.
Let me clarify. I'm
Sure.
talking about the update. I'm talking about the questions that are going to be in our second committee meeting, where you say, "Give us an update."
Oh, okay,
That's
okay.
that's
I
what I'm talking
apologize. I
about.
thought you were talking about the survey questions. So you're talking about right here the second committee meeting, this 1 through 6, right? Judy, is this right? What I have on the screen here? Hold your second committee.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
So really, you're not the first person who's asked about that. I guess for me, it's I am wanting to, for lack of a better way of saying it, make sure and force you to have had your second meeting, and it's almost like you're giving me the short version of the minutes. I need you to show me information that shows that yes, you did have that second committee meeting, and those are the bare minimum of things that would need to discuss. So to answer your question, yes, it doesn't the format that you type this up real quick and submit it is it's really up to you. It's your meeting. It's just me making sure that yes, you guys met the second time. Yes, your group has agreed on, this is our target audience, and hey, these are the questions that the group has decided we definitely need to ask. It doesn't need to be real formal. I'm not checking for, hey, this needs to be in 12 font Times New Roman, all that. It's really for you. So it's kind of like, basically just uploading. Uh, don't need to spend a lot of time on it. Just give me the short minutes, so to speak, of what your second committee meeting was. So nothing fancy. In all honesty, if you do it, you're getting the points. Um, I think the biggest thing is obviously these couple meetings that you have are all leading you to being very prepared to have all the information that you need for your capstone proposal and have your survey questions ready. That way, early on in the next semester, you can um, actually go ahead and reveal your survey to whomever is taking that survey. So hopefully they answered that question well for you, Judy. Let's see. Katie, if we have more than 10 questions, can one be a, um, yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't remember this survey is you're hoping to gain information. So I don't know how much information you gain from a yes no question, but yes, my answer to that would be yes. 10 of them need to not be yes no questions, and obviously two of them need to be a minimum of open ended. Again, if you're adequately asking enough questions to thoroughly collect enough data, you probably would do that um, without our mandatory fun of 10 questions, two open-ended questions and stuff like that. So I think the biggest thing would be really trying to be intentional about the questions that you ask. Think back. If you're a teacher and you're really trying to ask intentional, thought-provoking questions, so to speak, to your students. I remember when I was a principal, it was not uncommon that I asked teachers to pre-plan those questions ahead of time. That way, they are very intentional, well thought out questions. And this be no different. Don't just slop 10 questions together. Hopefully, you're being very methodical and really critiquing and or self-critiquing the wording of those questions and all those type of things. So, but to answer your ultimate question there, Katie, yes, I think that would be fine. It looks like we are off track based on our notes. Yeah, Judy. Yeah, I quickly those that posted those already. I skimmed through those today. Everybody was on point. I think the biggest thing you say off track will be when you submit this capstone proposal and lit review. Yeah, obviously you might not get full credit, but you all are going to pass this course unless you don't submit it. I'm going to, if you're off base, I'm going to say, listen, Judy, listen, Katie, whomever it is, you're off base on whatever such and such section of the capstone proposal. You're going to need to redo that and resubmit it, or you're going to need to redo that and get back to me or something like that. So I'm gonna, if you do well, you may get full credit, but if you're off base on your proposal, you're basically going to get the opportunity to redo it or to tweak it and do it better the second time because we're going to be running out of time soon. So I will make sure and do my part to make sure and lead you the right direction if you're off base on your proposal. Good questions. Any other questions for folks? All right. Well, I'm not going to keep you any longer. I'll stay behind if you would rather, ask any more questions that you might have. Remember, folks, I'm an email away if you should need me for any reason. Otherwise, I hope everyone has a great evening. Maybe get outside and enjoy this unseasonably great weather. But folks, it's been a pleasure. Email me if you have any questions. Please get those in one last time. Turn in by Thursday if you have it. If not, submit it by this Sunday, the 25th, by midnight, no later. And then go ahead then and look on Moodle for 614. I have probably 80% of the class information uploaded on 614 already, but we will meet on March the 1st. Have a great evening, folks. I'll stay behind if you have any questions. Thank you.
Dr. Brumbaugh?
Yeah, go ahead.
I typed you a note. I was just a few minutes late logging on, and I saw the slide you have of the Likert scale.
Yeah.
Can you?
I can. I'll be honest. I was starting to talk to Katie and then you as well, and I didn't realize I was muted and I was sitting there talking to myself. So yes. Taking the Likert scale example, like what you're wanting for this time. So basically, Leslie, I basically let me pull it up here. I'd had a few questions from people in class just saying, how's this formatted? I guess for me, yeah, those are, obviously very easy examples, but they're good ones of, it's a 5-point scale at minimum. They need to be statements. They should not be questions, be statements, and just be clear on that. But yes, those are examples of those. If you use them, they need to be. I would encourage you to have a couple of those, but remember, you don't have to have 10 questions of that. Just 2 of them be open-ended. The other ones, just make sure you don't have a bunch of yes/no questions. But these are the example as an example of what we're looking for here. Yes.
Okay. There was an example in our reading this week that had also more of a multiple choice format. Would something like that be okay as well?
Yes. It really do whatever meets your needs. There's not going to be for survey questions. There's not going to be all 15 of you in class are not going to do this all the same. Depending on what kind of information you're trying to solicit, will be some Some might need a bunch of open-ended questions, where a bunch of you might need, a bunch of them just like here. So to answer your question, yes, that would be perfectly okay if that's what's going to be needed for your survey.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. All right, let me go back up here and talk to Katie again, since I was talking to myself and didn't realize it. Finish the entire paper. Can we turn in early? Yes, Katie, you can. Just realize if you post it tonight, it'll definitely be a few days until I'm able to get back to you, though. I have a work commitment with my day job that I'm going to be swamped the next couple days and not even be in town for it. So I'll definitely, if you were to put it tonight, I'll try to get to it toward the end of the week. That way, hopefully, you might have the weekend then, if that would, if needed, if that would be helpful. Okay, no problem. Thanks, guys.